Good morning or good afternoon, coaches. This is Coach Anthony Williams, founder and CEO of Connected Athletics. We are a new startup company based out of Austin, Texas. Our focus right now is to create a platform to help student athletes connect with other student athletes as they build their network through the recruiting process, to also help student athletes connect with college coaches as they go through the recruiting process, and then more importantly, to successfully help student athletes transition from high school to college and then either into a career in the NFL or other semi-pro leagues or into a job in their career in their major of choice. We have got yet another exciting prospect in the class of 23 with us. Ivan Villegas is with us. He is a quarterback athlete from Stony High School here in Round Rock, 6 foot, 165 pounds, tremendous GPA of 4.0, obviously academic all district. Ivan, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, Coach. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for taking time out to join us and tell your story. Today is a big day here in Texas. As you know, I'm sure you guys had summer conditioning workouts for the first time since COVID-19. How did that go for you guys this morning over at Stony Point?
It was pretty good. We worked out, did more agility type quickness and explosion type stuff. It was pretty good getting back in the rhythm with my teammates and my coaches.
Yeah, I can imagine. This has been a very tough time with COVID-19, but it looks like because we all practice the safety protocols, like we're going to have some high school football here, which is very exciting. Let me ask you, we talk about before with COVID-19, before today, what were you doing to stay in shape before today?
So every day I work out at least 3 times, whether it's working on quickness, speed, strength. That's pretty much all I do for all 3 sports that I have.
Okay. And then as far as you being a quarterback, were you still getting throws in or what were you doing to keep your arm in shape from that perspective?
Oh, yes, sir. I throw the football with my dad every day, whether it's just throwing short passes, long passes, on the run.
Okay. And then tell us as a quarterback, footwork and arm strength are important, but tell us mostly in lower body, what do you and your dad work on to work on your lower body that drives accuracy and arm strength?
With Coach D, he helps me out with my lower body and helps me become more explosive. And I also go to my baseball facility in Hutto, and they have a squat rack, so I work a lot on legs, leg press, squats, most of that stuff.
So let's talk about that real quick. So you are a very accomplished 3-sport athlete. You play football, you play baseball for a good friend of mine, Coach Brandon Creed. Talk about your life and your accomplishments as a 3-sport athlete in high school.
So this past year, this is my freshman year, I played all 3 sports, and it was a pretty good experience, learning all the coaches and how they work and what I could do to be a better athlete through the rest of my 4 years in high school. So football was pretty good. I think we had one of the best records that Stony Point's had as a freshman team. And basketball went smoothly, went good. And then baseball, baseball is a big part of my life, and I love to play the sport of baseball. And I actually got the opportunity to play some games on varsity with Coach Creek and pitch, and it was a pretty good experience. I just wish it would have stayed. The season would have stayed a little longer.
Yeah. Coach Creek's doing a great job building that baseball program and does a great job like the other coaches in football also. But Brandon and I have known each other for a long time. He's one of my favorite people along with the rest of the Creek family. So you're blessed to have him as a coach. Let's switch gears here a little bit. Let's talk about that outstanding GPA of 4.0, Ivan. Tell us about the importance that you put on your academics as a student athlete.
Well, as all athletes know, you're a student athlete before anything. So academics will always come first, no matter what, to me. So I really focus on that. I hit the books when I'm here at home. I'll do some practice tests, some practice questions, and it just helps me a lot because then it makes school a lot easier.
Do you have any favorite subjects? Are you a math, science guy, or what are some of your favorite subjects?
Math is my favorite subject. I love math. It's just amazing and it's easy, and I just love to learn more about it.
Okay. Take this time to shout out any of your teachers, tutors, counselors, or APs at Stony Point who have helped you gather that 4.0 GPA. Who would you like to shout out right now from a teaching standpoint?
I like to shout out Mr. McClendon, my world geography teacher. He made this year fun. It was pretty cool to be in his class and learn a lot of different stuff that I hadn't learned before.
That's awesome. Hey, so tell us, I know you're still got 3 more years of high school, but have you thought about what your major might be in college?
Yes, sir. I've always been interested in the study of engineering
Okay.
since I was little. So I've always had an interest for that. So, and now I've been given the opportunity to learn more about it in high school because it's part of my academy. And I'd love to learn more about it and hopefully make a project one day that'll change the world.
As an engineering graduate who was also a student athlete in high school and college, I can tell you that that is not an easy task. You're definitely going to want to have those conversations with the college coaches that engineering will be part. Most student athletes do not. It's a very tough discipline, as you know. But if you are serious about it, they'll make it work, but you're going to have to push for it. So keep that in mind as you move forward in the recruiting process that, hey, I don't want to transfer to communications or anything else. I want to study whether it's mechanical or electrical because I can tell you that that's going to be a tough one to do. So, but yeah, it's always good to hear other student athletes, young like yourself, who want to get into engineering because I love engineering. I love technology and I love sports and athletics. So it's good to meet somebody who's got that same passion. Tell me a little bit about, what do you see yourself doing whenever football is over with your career? Are you plan on being an engineer? Do you want to work for a big time Fortune 500 company or start your own business?
Yes, I would love to be an engineer and just like with whatever company I'm with, I just want to help out and make a change. But if engineering doesn't work for me, I like to start my own business and uh, just build it up and for it to be good.
Okay. And then do you also have an idea as far as, in your career, what specific engineering discipline you're looking at? Mechanical, biomedical, electrical?
So I'm interested in mechanical engineering
Yeah.
to learning how different things work because I'm always interested in that because it's pretty cool how stuff works around these days.
Okay, awesome. Let's switch gears here back to you as an athlete now. What would you consider as you go into your sophomore year some of your strengths as a player and some of the weaknesses that you're working on for your sophomore year?
Well, definitely one of my strengths is my footwork because you need footwork for any sport that you play. It's back to the fundamentals. So I work on my footwork a lot, and it's really good for me right now. My weaknesses as a player, probably have to say sometimes I overanalyze defensive schemes too much, like just a little bit. But I'm just trying to get better at that and not stress too much and stay calm, cool, and collected throughout the game.
Okay. Well, I know you had a really good, successful freshman year. Tell us a little bit about what you plan on bringing to your sophomore year, probably being a starter or contributor on varsity.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to play varsity football. Well, I started playing football in 7th grade, and since then I've fell in love with the sport, and I've always wanted to play varsity. So even if it's not quarterback, even if it's being a contributor to the team, playing receiver, running back, defense, it's pretty cool to have that experience because my dad had that experience in high school, and I want to follow that.
Ivan, do you consider yourself more quarterback or more athlete? Are they planning on using you kind of in different positions? Because you can play receiver, you play DB, play running back. What kind of do you know your role, what it's going to be going into your sophomore year?
Well, right now they have me working out at quarterback, and
Okay,
That's what I'm trying to work on right now to become the
gotcha.
starter. But if because there's some competition at that spot, so I'm trying to work and earn that spot because spots just aren't given; they're earned.
Right.
So I'm trying to work on that.
Now, you got a good attitude there. That's very true. There's always going to be competition. And guess what? Competition is a good thing because when you have it, it makes you push yourself a little bit harder.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
to us, since we know you focus on quarterback, tell us about some of the things that you know you must be really good at as a quarterback. Vision, studying the game plan, understanding everybody's position. Talk to us about your mentality of being a successful quarterback at Stony Point.
Well, I think I'll be a successful quarterback at Stony Point because I know the game of football from both sides of the ball. So I understand what defenses are thinking, what they're trying to read, and playing offense, you're just reading the defense and learning on what they're trying to do. And I'm trying to have good vision throughout the whole game. And yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Do you consider yourself more of a drop back quarterback or a dual threat quarterback? Can you run the ball pretty good? I assume you can, but I want to hear your answer.
Yes, sir. I'm a dual threat quarterback. I can definitely run the ball if needed. My throwing is still good, but I could run the ball if I needed to.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about, the class 23 is loaded. I've done the freshman All-American game and had some really good kids down there, and you obviously have a lot of good 23s in your class with Brennan James. Tell me what you think sets yourself apart from some of the other quarterbacks in your class.
What sets me apart is that my work ethic. My work ethic will separate me from anyone that tries to compete with me because I work on a daily basis. It's just what I love to do. Sports is my life, and I love to work out. I love to get better at the sport, and I like competition, but I like to win the competition.
Okay. As a quarterback, quarterbacks usually get too much credit when the team wins and gets too much blame when the team loses. Tell us how you manage those highs and lows as a quarterback.
Well, win or loss, as long as we all fought a good game, and I try to keep everybody's heads up and just try to talk to them and tell them what they did good, what they did wrong, so we can get better for the next week.
Okay. Let's talk about leadership. Quarterback is a position of leadership, whether you want to embrace it or not. Tell me and these coaches how you define leadership and how you plan to lead as a sophomore on varsity.
Leadership is someone that leads by example and helps influence your teammates. So I show leadership on my team by just talking to them, being good friends with them, and just trying to help them get better, help them push further throughout our workouts. And I do it on the field too. Like on the field, I'm calling plays, audibling if coach wants me to, and I'm just looking forward to lead all my teammates this year on varsity.
One of the tips I would give you as a former player and longtime coach is, like, even today with starting summer conditioning, you can lead there. If you show leadership now during summer conditioning when guys are down or struggling with their weight or getting down, when the fall comes, they'll be like, man, I know Ivan is a leader because he was helping me lead. He was helping the team lead back in June during summer conditioning. So keep that in mind. I know a lot of people think leadership is during games or during practice, but leadership is a year-round, especially for you as a young quarterback. It is a year-round position that you've got to continually hone. So keep that in mind as you go forward, okay?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, we talked about Coach Creek and some of the other coaches at Stony Point. College coaches want to know what type of relationship you have with your coaching staff. Tell us about your relationship with your position coach and the head coach.
My relationship with the head coach, Coach Chesser, is pretty good. I talk to him whenever I can. Like today, it was good to see him and talk to him about football and what it's going to be like this next year. My position coach, Coach Lewinsky, we talk to him. We have meetings usually weekly to go over plays, to talk about what we're doing and how we're going to be successful this year. And yeah, so I have a good relationship with all my coaches. The receiver coach was actually my basketball coach this year, so I got to talk to him and get to know him a little bit better. And of course, Coach Creek is my baseball coach. So
yeah.
I've known Coach Creek since I was probably about like 8 years old. So I grew up with Coach Creek, and I love Coach Creek.
Now, yeah, I'm telling you, you've got some good ones with Coach Lewinsky and Coach Creek and those guys. You've got a good coach staff. That's going to be outstanding. Tell us, as you move into your sophomore year and get ready for varsity, what are some of the things you're looking for playing at the varsity level compared to playing as a freshman level last year?
I'm just trying to see how it's going to be playing against bigger dudes. It's going to be interesting because usually I'm just playing against people your own age, but now you're playing against these men. So, well, they bleed just like I bleed. So there's no reason to be scared. It's just, you just got to outwork them.
Yeah, one of the things I tell a lot of freshmen that are going to play varsity as sophomores, the speed of the game definitely speeds up. And obviously the size of the players, but also the mental aspect of the game. When you're a freshman, obviously you're a good athlete. You kind of lean upon just being a better athlete than some of the other guys. But as you get into your sophomore year, it's going to be more film study. It's going to be more understanding the scouting report. It's going to be more understanding, looking for weaknesses in the defense that you play against. So keep those things in mind as you move forward in preparing for the fall season, okay?
Yes, sir.
Let's move to something about you away from football. What are your interests outside of school, outside of football? Do you like to hunt, fish, hang out with your friends, be out in the water? What does Ivan like to do in his spare time?
I like to fish. So my mom's side of the family lives down in Corpus. So we go over there when we can, and we fish a lot. I love to fish. It's pretty cool.
Okay. And then you a video game guy? Are you a Madden 2K guy? What have you been doing to kill time with COVID?
Well, I'm a Madden guy. I got Madden 20. I play with my dad, play with some of my friends. I play Fortnite with some of my friends too, but those are the only two games I really play.
Okay. And then obviously there's not a teenager your age that doesn't have their cell phone near them. What are some of your favorite apps? Are you a Twitter guy, TikTok, Instagram, what?
I'm TikTok right now. TikTok makes me laugh. It's funny. It
Yeah.
it can come in clutch sometimes when you need it.
Okay. Well, as you know, we talked about earlier today was your first day of summer air conditioning. What kind of music do you like to listen to when you're working out or in pregame? What artists get you hyped for games or for workouts?
Oh, definitely Roddy Ricch. Roddy Ricch is definitely my number one right now. All his whole album that he put out in 2019. I'm waiting for him to put out some new music, but he's on the top of my list right now.
Okay. Tell these coaches, what do you like during pregame? Are you a guy that likes to get hype and bang your head against a locker, or are you more of a hey, get a quiet space, think about the scouting report, think about our scheme? What kind of player are you in pregame?
During pregame, I'll get hyped sometimes, but then I realize that I have to dial it back in and get focused in the game. I'm just trying to get my teammates all hyped up and get ready for the game, but I also have to know what I'm gonna do and what I can do to have my performance be as good as possible.
Okay. Let's fast forward the next 2 or 3 years when you've got some college choices. Who's going to help you make the decision on what school you'll commit to as a junior or senior?
Definitely my parents. My parents will help me with that decision and how it'll work out for us because it's always been my dream school to go to Texas A&M in College Station. So
Okay.
my parents would definitely help me with that.
Okay. Good to hear. Tell us, obviously we talked about engineering earlier and what you want to do with life after football. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to as far as giving back to your community? Are you involved with your church? Are you involved with some nonprofits? What do your family do? Tell us a little bit about what you do to give back to the community.
Well, me and my family, we usually gather up old clothes that we have when we go donate it. And we're looking forward to donating some money to the children's hospitals and just to have a good impact. And I just want to grow up and be a person to give rather than receive.
Okay, I like it. Hey, somebody's gonna watch you play on varsity this year for the first time. Who will your game remind them of? Who are you patterning your game off of? Is there a certain college or pro player that you say, hey, that's what I'm trying to make my game look like?
Russell Wilson, definitely. Russell Wilson has been my number one quarterback since when they were winning games, winning Super Bowls. He just goes back down to the fundamentals and shows good mechanics, and I just try to follow him because he's a good quarterback.
That's a good role model, absolutely. You mentioned it earlier, you played football starting very young. Tell us, when did you fall in love with football, and when did you have an idea that football was going to help pay for your education?
Well, football, I've been in love with football for basically my whole life because my dad was in love with it when he was in middle school and high school, and he got the chance to play in college a little bit, but then I'm just trying to follow his role because he's a big influence in my football life, and he helps me learn different things and everything. So I've been playing. I started playing tackle football in seventh grade. Seventh grade was my first year about like hitting, so it was pretty interesting to get to learn the sport more. Because I had played flag football for a little bit before that, but football is a great game, and I love to play it.
Tell us, is there a moment, have you had that moment yet when you said, hey, because you've got good size already, has you had that moment where you said, hey, you know what, I might be able to play this game at the college level? Have you had that moment yet?
A little bit this year. Pretty big runs, pretty big throws, touchdowns, and I'm ready. I'm ready for the varsity level and see what I can do to see how my college will go.
Okay. As we start to reopen from COVID-19 and the pandemic right now, you start hanging out with your friends, maybe a girlfriend. What's your shoe game looking like? Are you a big shoe guy or no?
I got a couple pairs of shoes. I got a couple pairs of Jordans, some Air Forces, just some Adidas, stuff like that. I'm not like super big on shoes, but somewhat.
Okay. All right. Tell these coaches about a time, dealing with adversity is a big part of football. Tell these coaches about a time, either personally or dealing with sports that you had to overcome some type of adversity?
Well, adversity, everybody faces some adversity sometime in their life, whether it's in sports or out of sports. And adversity in life for me, well, I haven't had too much to deal with in life, but definitely in the sports field, I've had a lot of adversity to come. An example could be a couple games this year. I had to help my team get a first down, or when I was playing defense, I needed an interception, something to change the game around. Then even in baseball, like in baseball this year, there's a game where I had to step up on varsity in the last inning with 2 outs. I got him to a 3-2 count, and it was a pretty close game in the last innings, and I ended up striking him out. So it's pretty good to overcome adversity, but just everyone faces it, and I just like to overcome it.
From somebody who actually coached softball with Coach Creek and has a son that played baseball at Arizona State, I have to ask, what was your out pitch? You throw him a curveball, a slider, or you hit him with the fastball?
I hit him with a fastball.
Okay. That's awesome. Hey, besides your parents and your family, tell us about somebody who's had a positive influence in your life outside of your family.
Um, definitely my girlfriend.
Okay.
She's helped me a lot this past year and a half that we've been together, and she helps me a lot. She's my rock that I can lean on to, and she's just an amazing person. But my family also helps me a lot too, and they like her, so it's pretty cool.
Okay. All right. You're the first player that's ever said their girlfriend that, so you're unique in that. That's interesting. Um, so we talked about you being a three-sport athlete, and we know football. We've heard baseball. What was that third sport? Were you a basketball guy, or are we talking track?
Basketball.
Okay.
I love to play basketball.
Okay.
I was a Spurs fan since I was a little baby because my parents are Spurs fans. And then Kawhi Leonard is definitely my favorite player. So when he won that championship with the Spurs, it was pretty cool. But now I'm just following Kawhi Leonard.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. So tell us, college coach will want to know what type of learning style you have, Ivan. Would you consider yourself a visual learner, verbal, or physical?
Definitely a visual learner. I like to see things be done in front of me and explained to me because it makes a lot more sense when I can see it rather than it being said to me or shown to me.
Okay. Big question that coach will ask. It's a simple one, but sometimes kids struggle with this. But why do you think your game translates to the college level?
I think my game can translate to the college level because let me think about that one. To the college level because I can do anything that they need me to do, whether it's running, passing, working on throws on the run, stepping in and out of the pocket. I'm just willing to do anything to put in work and be successful in college.
Okay. Define for us coachability and describe how you are coachable as a player.
Oh well, being coachable is a must need for an athlete. So whatever your coaches tell you to do, if they're helping you out, telling you stuff, you need to listen and make sure that you're on their good side and that you want to be there to listen and just focus on what they're saying because it could really help you as a player.
Okay. Are you the kind of player that prefers a coach kind of get in your face and challenge you? Or are you the kind of player that wants a coach to kind of look at you in the eye, kind of pat you in the back and say, hey, I need you to step it up? What type of player are you?
I like for coaches to try to get in my head because it helps me like with my mental focus and everything. So I like for them to give me a challenge because I like to overcome it.
With you being a three-sport athlete, Ivan, you obviously had to sacrifice something to be a successful student athlete. Tell these college coaches what some of the things you've had to sacrifice to be that successful 4.0 student athlete.
Well, I'm just it's just it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time out for me to because I'm either working out, practicing, and either in any of the sports that I play. So sometimes it'll take time out of family stuff,
Yeah.
family get-togethers, dinners, stuff like that. But I still maintain spending time with my family, spending time with some of my friends. But yeah, sports is a big part of my life, and I love to play.
You, like me, and all the athletes I've worked with, and my kids who are all athletes, there's 3 terms that every athlete uses on a daily basis. Oh, I can't because I have a workout. Oh, I can't because I have practice. Oh, I can't, I have a game. So that's awesome, though. Hey, last question here. We talked about an elevator pitch in business. It's when you have a chance to talk with somebody of power. It could be a president, could be the board of directors. In this case, take 30 seconds to tell college coaches why they should recruit you and what you're going to bring to their program.
So I think colleges should recruit me because my work ethic will always be there. I'm always down for them to tell me what I need to do, what job needs to be filled, and I just want to be successful in college, and I just want to have a fun time.
Okay, and then tell them also what you're going to bring to their program.
I'm going to bring my strength, my arm strength, my running ability, my funniness, just my leadership, definitely. But yeah, so there's a lot of things that I would bring to the college field.
Okay. Well, Ivan, I'm looking forward to watching you in the fall this year. I'll definitely be at a couple of games. I'll definitely see you. Continue to be safe, work hard during the summer. And if you have any questions about recruiting, need any help, please have you and your family reach out to me, okay?
Yes, sir.
Have a great rest of the day and be safe, okay?
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.